Welcome everyone, What a Load of Bulls podcast, episode number 49, and with that Simon Little has finally advanced his technology in the internet, and we actually have camera footage of you, mate. Welcome to the year 2002.
Yeah, I get a look at your face. That's not good. That's not good.
It's about time you flipping got up to speed with it, so it was, mate. Well, welcome, buddy, welcome. How was your last fortnight since we last spoke? Have you got over that hiding that Jack McShane gave you?
Yeah, got over that. Yep, that was, put that in the past. That's fine. He's a gun bowler. Happy to get beat by somebody like that.
Okay, what about getting relegated from Platinum Pennant? Have you put that behind you?
Yeah, put that behind me. Yep, move on. Let's push on. Don't dwell on the defeats. Come on, don't dwell on defeats. That's what we should just move on. Next game.
I'm dwelling on them just to see you squirm. Oh dear. Well, what have you got coming up? A bit of a quiet time now for you. All that's over with.
Yeah, like we didn't participate in the Australian Open, so it's been pretty quiet this last few weeks. Obviously, nothing happening. So yeah, we'll take a bit of a break, bit of a reset, and focus on some family life for a little bit and give them some of my time. And Bulls will take a bit of a back seat, and then we'll look at coming back with some renewed vigor and maybe getting into some drills and skills and things like that. And take a bit of a break for the next little while.
Yeah, not bad. I would take a break too after those last couple of weeks you had, mate. It was a bit of a rough trot. I'll tell you what, but not as rough as James Gaston's. I'll tell you about that off there. He doesn't deserve any credit on there. Have you ever lost a game leading by 11 shots with 2 ends to play?
Ooh, that would stick in your mind. I'd love to.
Not only that, the last end, you're leading by 7 in a game of 3 bull triples.
Oh, that's hard to take. It'd
be interesting
to hear though from our listeners. What's the biggest not defeat, but the biggest comeback over the last couple of ends that you've either achieved or you've been on the wrong side of? I'd love to hear that. Yep, but 11 shots over 2 ends, was it?
11 shots up with 2 ends to go. And they lost on the tie end, the extra end.
Man, I've been taking a reset from Bulls if that was
lost
me.
Lost to 4, lost to 7.
Yeah.
Not only that, because you've cut the last 2 ends, you've lost the 4, you've lost the 7, having last bowl, mate. What are you doing? I'm sorry, like things can happen, but
does he need a coach? I've got a good blog post if he wants to have a look at some
6-inch putt. So it is like. I have to he sent me a voice note explaining the last end. I have to let you listen to it. It's like they were trying to lose it. But yeah, anyway, that's enough credit for him on the podcast. So we had presentation night on Friday night, mate. Very good. So
did you get anything special, any entertainment? What would you?
I mean, we just get a soloist in every year, plays them in, and then we do, just have a meal, 2-course meal for everyone, and then get up. The main entertainment's just me on the microphone. Everyone loves that. And then, but entertainment at the end. But me, it was a brilliant night. It was 110 people there. Fantastic night. So it was. Nice. Culture's absolutely banging at the minute.
Well, that's how you achieve good culture in your club, isn't it? Things like that, and you got to reward end of year. Like put on a bit of a spread. Club, puts up a good bit of entertainment and have a good night. Everyone can have a few drinks and enjoy the success. And I think that's definitely key to good culture at a club. And I think likes of Wayne Turley and a few others would bang on about that kind of stuff, and it's you celebrate the wins. I'm not sure that's what he said in one of the interviews. Make sure you got to celebrate the wins, and if you've had good success over the year, have good bit of entertainment and put something on for all the players and club members.
Yeah, it was good. And then next morning we had 30 odd out on the green as well. So we did just getting a bit of a last minute team roll up before we go away for state pennants this week. Got 3 teams going away. We'll talk a bit more about that. I suppose after we do a bit of a rundown of, as you've already mentioned, the Australian Open finished up.
Did indeed. Big month up in the good old Queensland.
Yeah. A lot of events leading into it, especially at Broadbeach. They've got that, the Matador Fours and the Blue Diamond or Blue Opal or whatever pairs as well, so whatever you call it. So yeah, plenty of stuff happening up on the Gold Coast, mate. And I'm going through all the results there earlier. There's 15 events up there now.
It's pretty big. It's a big bowls festival.
It's huge, isn't it? It's just got bigger and bigger. All credit to Andrew Howie, who has to run all that. That's unbelievable. But luckily for us, mate, it's all on Bowls Link now. And you can go and you can find everything. And it was great because I was able to use it on Friday night at the table for the presentation night when one fella turned around and said to me, I played that game against this player and he only beat me 25-16. And I went, I think you find it's 25-6. No, it's not. I'll be able to get the phone out. Bowls Link. Thank you, Bowls Link. You're able to put that person in their place. But anyway, mate, lots happening. It's for all ages, all abilities. The one I'm going to start with for results was the vision impaired open pairs. Mm-hmm. So it was. And well done to Keith Haylett and Stephen Minton, who came out 14-12 winners over Dallas Harding and Scott Kinnear. Moving on, sticking with the vision impaired, they had an open singles event as well. Well done to Dallas Harding with a 21-shot to 14 victory over Jeffrey Charles McConnell, also known as Fred. Well done, guys. Multi-disability open pairs as well. We had a win for Chris Flavel and James Reynolds, who we all know very, very well. Absolutely legend. Yeah. Mm-hmm. They had a 14-12 win over Anthony Bonnell and Josh Barry. In the women's multi-disability women's singles, shout out to Chris Constable from Club Maitland City, who made the semi-finals. But the eventual winner was Serena Bonnell. No surprise there. 21-5 winner over Alison Megan. Serena's absolutely killing it. World record holder as well for longest game of singles, I believe, with Alan Faulkner. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So she was. And then, double for Club Tweed, which was Damien Delgado in the men's version of the multi-disability, winning 21-13 over Chris Flavel. So well done to all those. Moving on to the old stagers, we got the women's over 60s pairs. Well done, 22-9 shot win for Adele Pursehouse and Tracy Foster over Linda Warburton and Lisa Featherby. In the men's over 60s, went right down to an extra end. Nick Daw and Neville Brown with a 14-13 win over Tony Hinton and the one and only Warren, chairman of the match committee, Shipley.
No way, Shippo.
14-13, yeah. That'll hurt a little bit. It'd be nice. He'd be happy to make the final. He'd also be happy that he managed to get his club into Platinum Pennant for the next year. So just throw a bit of controversy there. Moving on to the younger generation, we've got the under 18 girls singles now. Don't get upset with me, but it was a 21-10 shot win for Anda Panchawat from South Australia over young Talia Kennedy from East Maitland. And the boys under 18s, Travis Moran was back. Now, Travis had a bit of a rough experience of this one last year. He led by 10 or 11 shots and got ran down.
Yeah.
Looked like he was doing something similar again in this game, but he managed to hold on to get the 21-19 win. So well done to Travis over Max Heaton-Harris.
Good stuff. Yep.
Yeah, well done, Trav. He won everything else last year. He lost that, and he came back a couple of weeks later, won the Junior Gold Nugget, I think he won the National under 18 singles as well. Won everything else around that, so it's nice for him to add that to his trophy cabinet. Then we go on to the big open event. So women's fours, 23-14 shot win for a little unknown team of Lindsay Clark, Anne Johns, Rebecca Van Ash, and Kelsey Cotterill.
Yeah,
over Olivia Cartwright, Rebecca Lord, Laura Butler, and Chloe Stewart. So 8 absolute guns there.
Yep.
In the women's. In the men's, 15-10 win for A. Wallace O'Marson, Jake Rinn, and Thor Shannon over Wayne Turley, Sean Ingham, Aaron Wilson, and Ali Forsyth. So good to see Ali's living off Kelly's coattails and making finals now. Riding the crest of that wave from the podcast he got put on to, mate. So he's good to be back in mainstream media. So now, well done to Ali and Turles, obviously. Moving on then to the women's pairs, and in a 20-shot to 16 win, we had Selena Goddard and Chloe Stewart over the pair from Malaysia, Narul Jamil and Emma Saroji. No idea if that's right, but I apologize if it's not. Those are women's pairs. On to the men's pairs, and we had the Nelson brothers up against Corey Wedlock and Gary Kelly, and it was the Warilla pair of Corey and Gary that came out winners this time with a 20-13 shot win. Well done, Gaz and Corey. Moving on to the blue ribbon events and the singles. Olivia Cartwright from Moama made her way through the field to get to the final. She came up against Dawn Heyman, who 12 months ago in the women's New South Wales State Championships, as we know, was red hot. And she's still red hot. 21-11 win there for Dawn. Big shout out as well to Dawn, who actually got Player of the Carnival for most ranking points racked up throughout the course of the event. So well done to Dawn. And then the one that everybody was hoping to see, the one that everybody's still talking about, the one and the only Aaron Sheriff made his way to the men's singles final again for the 4th year in a row, 7th time overall, and he came up against a previous winner, Nathan Wilson. Now, Nathan hadn't played in the event in, 6 or 7 years, something like that. Mm-hmm. Just decided, he's got a young family, just decided, we'll take the kids up for, a bit of a holiday. Might play a bit of bowls while I'm there. Managed to get his way all the way through to the final.
Yeah.
But it was Aaron Sheriff with a bit of history. 21-12 winner for the 4th time in a row and 7th time overall. Now that's going to be hard to be beaten.
Absolutely.
It's going to be hard to be matched, let alone beaten. That's just incredible. But some of the stats that were thrown up around that, like length of time undefeated, things like that there. I mean, have you got that in front of you there, haven't you? Reading that to me a bit earlier on.
I do, yeah. Some unbelievable stats here. Like, his last singles loss was 1,461 days ago. 2021 semi-finals at the hands of Aaron Wilson, the one and only, going for 3 bronze medals, or 3 gold medals in a row, Commonwealth singles.
Yeah.
And, like, they kind of, Bowls Australia put a little post out, and they started to compare him against the likes of Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal. That's how good this guy is at the Australian Open. When you start comparing him to world figures like Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal, they had a winning streak. So Roger Federer had a winning streak at Wimbledon of 40 games unbeaten. Right, Aaron Sheriff had went 45 games.
That's
45 games unbeaten he has went in the Australian Open singles.
21 up singles.
Yeah, 21 up singles. Now, over those 45 matches, he's netted 945 shots and he's conceded just 443. So that's averaging a 21 to 9.8 win each time he steps on it.
So people are struggling to get within 10 shots.
They can't even get double figures of him. He's not just winning. He's winning to single figures average. Unbelievable.
That's unreal. And the big one that got me was 7 finals, and he's never faced the same person twice in a final.
He's faced different guys the whole time.
No, he's faced a certain Cohen Litvin twice in the last 2 years, and both times Cohen has held game, and Aaron, just being Aaron, has decided, I'm just going to play a shot here and just get out of it.
I actually seen that. I seen the last end of that, a replay of it.
The semi-final.
Unbelievable. And the semi-final.
Wow. Fantastic.
Because I was watching it. Obviously knew that Aaron Sheriff got through to the final. This was after the fact. But watching it, I was going, how does he get out of this? I'm going, he must play an absolute bomb to win this game.
Yeah.
And he does. It's well worth a watch. Listeners out there, jump on YouTube. I'm sure you'll get a replay of it. Semi-final, Aaron Sheriff semi-final against Cohen Litvin. Absolutely brilliant. Those last couple of ends, just unbelievable. Just to step up and just do it. That's what you'd love to get into the mind of players like that, and what is going through their mind whenever you're standing on the mat. You've got one bowl, and the pressure of it. The pressure would be immense of that because of his history over that tournament and that singles. You just think of, does he think of, I'm going for 7 or I'm going for 4 in a row? Like, surely that has to run through your mind. Surely, has to be.
Note all that down, mate, because he's been in touch. He's pretty keen to come back on. I couldn't get him on the night. But he is pretty keen, big fella, to come back on. And now I'm putting it out there in the public domain. There's going to be a lot more pressure to get him back on. But now he hit me up at Platinum, so he didn't says he was keen to come back on. And then I was talking to him last week. I think we actually said in the last podcast, I asked him how he was feeling. He goes, I'm playing every bit as bad as what I did this time last year.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
He just went and done it again. Like, it's just unbelievable, mate. So it's just fantastic. It just shows there's something about that event and something in his mindset that he can just flick the switch and just go, I'm on here, or know his game well enough to know that where he's at and how he's going to get to that point to be able to win it again. And by all means, I think if you watch the last two finals side by side, you probably say the quality was a bit down this year in terms of the overall game.
Mm-hmm.
But for those watching, he didn't miss a big ball when it needed to be played. You know, even just look at the last one, he's taking the ball out for 2 or 3 or 4, whatever, he ended up getting it to get to the 21 shots.
Yeah.
He didn't miss that shot. There was a couple of ends previous to that where Nathan looked like he was holding a good couple. Aaron's drawn the shot in. Well, there was another time he looked like he was holding another good couple. Aaron managed to get the jack. I'm talking back about that one that you seen from Cohen, mate. That was an unbelievable ball from Cohen to actually draw up.
Yes.
Because Aaron's closest ball was about 3 inches away. Cohen's actually drawn up to within millimeters of that jack.
Millimeters of it, yeah.
But it was just enough that Aaron could get that out clean and onto the other ball.
Yeah.
So it was. But, yeah, it'll be interesting to see his mindset on that. Because I would dare say, because there was a few people jumped on there saying, oh, how lucky was he? Like, there's no way. Like, you can't say that was lucky. All right? No. Aaron maybe hasn't gone, I'm going to hit that exact speckle on the blue half of that ball to get it across and get those 2 out. But he was aiming at that ball.
He was,
because he had outside of the ball to lead on to get the other 2 out. He had the result that he got, or he had the ball clean onto the jack to either kill it or get the shot anyway. So this is what a lot of people in the lower grades, I find, don't think about. They think about too much about, well, I need the ultimate result. If you don't get the ultimate result, it's lucky. No, Aaron would have been looking at that as percentages.
Yeah, as percentages.
I need to hit that ball. Doesn't matter what I do. I need to hit that ball. If I peel that ball out clean and get nothing else, we go to another end. If I get it on the jack, I've probably got one at the back. I'm going to have a chance, or it's going to kill. You know, or he gets the result that he got, you know. So, yeah, it'd be good to get him back on. I mean, I know he's pretty, like I say, he's pretty keen to come on and have another chat. And now that he's got number 7, hopefully he hasn't got too many media commitments and he can come on and see us. But he should have a bit more time on his hands. You know, he's done all right for an old retiree there. So, just a bit of a has-been, not even a jackaroo anymore, and just going to win an Aussie Open. Something about that. I just want to know what it is about that event that gets him going. It's been up there 10 years and he's won 6 of them. He's won 7 out of the last 15 years, and one of those years it wasn't held because of COVID.
Unbelievable.
Another interesting one for you, but so he's won 6 on the Gold Coast. Only 2 others were won by someone that didn't have the name Aaron, because Aaron Wilson and Aaron T's also won up there as well. There you go, just a bit of useless trivia for you. I'm sure that'll come up in a pub somewhere, in some sports trivia, but man, unbelievable. It's just a pity that the sport doesn't get the recognition of some of the mainstream sports, because he is an absolute legend of the game for that. Like, as you said, Rafael Nadal at Roland Garros, synonymous, you know.
Yes.
Wimbledon, Roger Federer, Aussie Open, Novak Djokovic, who just sticking with tennis, you know. Tiger Woods at the Masters, things they got there. Like, there's just certain events certain people get up for, and he's one of our best to ever do it. And this event just gets him up ready to go. What do you reckon, mate? A statue outside Broadbeach Bowling Club? Should they just name that rink the Aaron Sheriff Rink? What do you reckon, mate?
You never know.
Got to do something.
There is a big bronze bull as you go in the door through Broadbeach. So yeah, you never know. Like, could be a bronze statue going somewhere of Aaron Sheriff. Yeah.
Well, isn't there on Cavill Avenue there's a Ripley's Believe It or Not? Maybe you should be in that. Believe it or not, this fella's quite good at lawn bowls.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know. I'm up there in a couple of weeks, man. I might propose that. I might go into Ripley's and propose that. Have you heard of this fella? But yeah, unbelievable, phenomenal, mate. There's not much you can say about it. Like, it's just to do that.
Yeah,
like, I can't win 4 singles games in a row, let alone 4 Aussie Opens in a row. Like, it's just
you'd be lucky to get 4 ends in a row.
4 ends in a row, exactly. That's a struggle.
Yeah.
You're one to talk. Remember Jack McShane?
No, we forgot about that, mate. We'll move on. Yeah, that's the past. That's history. Right?
We'll stay up in that neck of the woods, mate, because there was an announcement came out today too, wasn't it? So the next big event that part of the Triple Crown or Grand Slam or whatever they talk about with singles in Australia is the Gold Nugget.
Yep,
that'll be Club Tweed, big invitational event where Turles invites some of the best players from around the globe, men and women, to come and play this.
Yep.
What do you think about it?
I don't know about round the globe. I think I have a bit of a bone to pick with him about that one. But anyway, yeah, most of the players are based in Australia. Like,
didn't start in Australia, did they?
Well, some of them are born overseas, but they all play bowls in Australia or New Zealand, which is pretty close. But yeah, that field, they released the field for that, men and women. Is 24 of the world's best players, undoubtedly a great field if you look at the names. Like, we'll quickly run through men. You've got Aaron Tees, Aaron Wilson, Ollie Forsyth, Aaron Sheriff.
Ollie Forsyth?
Yep.
He hasn't been in that for a while, has he?
I don't believe so, but he's in it this year.
Podcast again, mate. I think there'll be a little thank you in the post.
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
probably to you as opposed to me, but yeah, say we'll hear from Ali.
We've got Ben Twist, Cody Packer, Corey Wedlock, Gary Kelly, Jack McShane, Kane Nelson, Lee Schreiner, Ryan Bester. So that's the men.
Do you see a bit of controversy in there, Simon?
Yeah.
Just as I look at those names, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 New South Welshmen.
Quite a few.
Jack McShane hasn't even been capped at New South Wales level yet. I mean, why is he in ahead of the rest of the stateside?
Because he managed to win champion singles, I think.
You don't think the world title has something to do with that? It's all about beating Simon Little, isn't it? All right, who's the women? Who have we got?
So the women. We got Brianna Smith, Cassandra Milrick, Chloe Stewart, Dawn Hyman, Jamie Lee Worsnop, Caitlin Inch, Kelly McCarrahan.
Kelly's in the women's.
Yep.
So Turles is actually saving on room hire there by bringing Ali along. Now I get it. Right. Okay. I like it. Okay. Like Turles is just saving costs there. Well done, Turles.
Kelsey Cottrell, Olivia Cartwright, Lindsay Clark, Natasha Van Ildick, and Tyler Bruce.
That's a who's who, isn't it?
That is a who's who. Both men and women, really. Like
it's hard to think off the top of your head without actually having people in front of you, but that's a phenomenal list. But it's made more so probably by, if we sat and really looked at it, the people that have missed out, the potentially are good enough to be in there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
yep.
So Kane Nelson's there, but isn't Jacob Nelson the one going away to represent Australia at the World Championships later in the year? I think I've seen that announced for Club Barham too. We'll look at that a bit closer to the time.
Yep.
But that's a fantastic field.
Yeah, and defending champions in that is Lee Schreiner and Natasha Van Eldick. So they're hoping to retain their title, but man, it'll be a tough ask to retain those titles, really, with that field.
Man, that is a field and a half in both of those, isn't it? Really?
Yeah,
that really is. That's fantastic.
So, yep, that's kicking off Monday, July the 28th to Thursday, July the 31st. So
it'll probably all be live streamed from those guys up on the Gold Coast as well.
Yeah, I'd say so. Keep your eyes out on YouTube and stuff like that. I'm sure there'll be some sort of live streaming going on with those games, or if you're up that neck of the woods, I would definitely be calling in to see some of not only Australia's best players, but definitely some of the best players in the world there playing.
Best players from around the world, but they all live in Australia, according to Simon Little. Speaking of live streaming, I'm not letting you away with this one. You are our live stream critic.
Yeah.
You had a bit to say about the old Bowls TV that, unfortunately, Bowls Australia tried to launch in the first couple of rounds of the Australian Open, and it didn't quite go to plan, did it?
It didn't quite really go to plan, no. I think it popped up on my newsfeed really because of so many comments, and I kind of then got down the rabbit hole of reading comments and looking into it a little bit. And yeah, I think what they tried to do, I think, had some sort of merit in what they were doing. I could see what they're trying to do. But I think technology-wise, it didn't really work. And there was a lot of people complaining that basically they weren't getting any live stream whatsoever. So you had to kind of register, log in, it wasn't just jump onto YouTube and there it is and hit play. There was a step or two involved in it, and I believe that it couldn't be live streamed. Some people couldn't live stream it to their TV, could only be watched on an iPad or on a phone.
Yeah, because they weren't using YouTube, were they? They were just using this specific website. So
they were.
You had to have it on your computer, on your phone, on your iPad or whatever, and you can't log in. Maybe there's clever people around that can log into a web browser on their TV, but unless you know how to stream to your TV or plug it in with a hard cable, it was hard to do, wasn't it?
Bit of an issue, really. Look, I think trying to keep it as simple as possible would have been the best way forward. I understand that they're trying to maybe move towards a Bowls TV kind of thing and not necessarily make it a subscription kind of based thing, but have one central place for live streaming. And I know of other sports that have done that and have done it really successfully. Like Hockey New South Wales have actually done that because they had, out of a bit of history, they had a lot of bits and pieces of live stream all over Facebook, different groups, and Hockey New South Wales got together and said, right, we're going to put everything into one spot rather than fragmented all over the internet. And they created basically, a Bulls TV equivalent. And every single player then that plays hockey across New South Wales can jump on, and all the replays are there of different events and games. And you'd basically just register as you're a member of Hockey New South Wales, just like we're a member of Bulls New South Wales or Bulls Australia or whatever. Jump on there, and I don't know whether it's a paid subscription or not, but I think that's kind of the idea, that maybe Bulls Australia was trying to go down that route. Having those extra steps may not have been the way to go.
Yeah, everything's got teething issues, but for that big event, I'm not too sure that's the way to rule it out, really, is it? But hindsight's also a wonderful thing. But like, Bulls New South Wales just did an awesome job a couple of weeks previously just by using YouTube. So why not stick to that? But the other thing too is that helped that was just how good the commentary was. Just throw that in there. Don't you roll your eyes at me. I think I preferred you when your camera wasn't turned on. But yeah, hopefully they get all that ironed out. But it's pretty clear you got to take the feedback from the general public, and it's pretty clear. YouTube seems to be the preferred method at the minute, because people can you've got the YouTube app on your TVs, and you just tune in and sit and watch it on your TV. You don't have to sit and watch it on a smaller screen. Yeah, keep an eye on that going forward, I suppose, and see what they come out with. Social media and videos, mate, while we're on that subject, a little bit of controversy back at home, eh?
Yeah. This is a bit of a strange one, that we're actually going to talk about this. But anyway, for all the listeners out there, my home club back in Ireland, Northern Ireland, a little club called Portadown, literally a shed next to a Bulls green. If you could, I don't know. Well, if you could call it a Bulls green, but it's being generous. I wouldn't call it a Bulls green.
There's a lot of mud patches on it when I used to play down there, Simon.
A lot of mud patches on it, yeah. So anyway, sort of expect from small clubs run by a lot of volunteers. There's a lot of people. There's no money involved in lawn bowls back that neck of the woods. There's not a lot of women play bowls, really, and it's hard to get young girls in to play lawn bowls, just like it is over here. But it's even harder Northern Ireland. I was kind of disappointed. I heard the younger girls of the club, and they're involved in Irish pathways. Some of them play for Ireland. They've gone and represented British Isles championships, things like that. They're sort of in the forefront of the next generation of girls that are going to be representing on the international stage. Obviously, in their young years, they want to put some videos up there of, girls playing lawn bowls and women playing lawn bowls and promoting the sport to maybe their audience and on social media. And sadly, they had some, I thought were really good clips for, people that aren't trained in social media or making marketing videos or things like that. But they had just little clips of them going off to the game, some clips of bowls being played, things like that, and celebrating the end of games. And all of a sudden they got told by the association that they had to remove those videos and all of the videos that they'd done from social media. Now, I thought that was a bit of a massive punch to the gut.
So no consultation or ask, can you kindly explain, or can you maybe take these down? And it wasn't like highlighting anything negative. They're trying to promote the sport for their own clubs. As you said, they've got a few young girls in there that are probably of the Facebook, Twitter, X, TikTok generation.
Yep.
And they're trying to send a few videos around.
Yeah.
Promote the sport a bit more, have a bit of fun with it. And the hierarchy and their infinite wisdom, they've probably been doing the same thing for 20, 30, 40 years. Didn't like a break from the norm, and I can't get my head around that, mate.
Yeah, I was a bit blown away myself too when I heard about it. So I thought it was an interesting topic to bring up, that obviously every club should be striving to get new people into our sport and to help our sport grow. And it's what we strive over, even over here, like in the pinnacle of lawn bowls is Australia, but still we strive to get new members in. I guess at a lot of clubs, obviously, female and women numbers of bowlers is a lot less than men as well. So we're always trying to get more women into the game too. And, to put more roadblocks up and not progress the sport, which I see is they're putting roadblocks up to trying to generate interest and generate a bit of positivity around the sport. It's just another negative. And yeah, I just was really, really disappointed that that's the case. And yeah, be interesting to see the outcome of it. But yeah, they were told to remove those videos. They did. But I'd love to see those kind of videos back up again. And, just let's promote sport. Let's move on. Let's push on. Let's work around it.
It's baffling, isn't it? It really is baffling. I don't know. As long as it doesn't hurt my number one fan's feelings too much, mate. Big shout out to Linda Little. I know she's a big fan of mine. Yeah, I know social media is a touchy subject, mate, but it sounds like they were trying to do everything right, trying to do all the promotion right, drag a few people from outside of the sport maybe into the game, and they've just, it was, as you said, I didn't get to see any of the videos because they were removed, but it was highlighting their day in bowls, we get together at the club, we might head to an away game, we have a bit of fun while we're out there, high five and blah, blah, blah. And then the team dinner at the end just to show this is what we do. Who else could that have brought into the sport? But yeah, we'll not dwell on it too much, maybe. That's disappointing. But unfortunately, as we know from our experience back there, it is pretty much they're trying to bring it forward in a way back in Irish bowls. Hard to do when it's not a professional sport. Which or less, it's not necessarily a professional sport here in Australia, but there's a lot more professionalism in it because there's paid positions and things like that there. There's only one paid position at home. And yeah, it's just, and that's only in the last few years. It's been made recent. I know there's a lot of old heads out there that are trying to give back to the game and do the right thing around it, but there's just too much pushback from the old people that just don't like change, I suppose. But yeah, disappointing. Moving on to something more positive then, mate. I know you played Platinum the other week. That was just the preview of the main event. It was the undercard.
Yeah.
Because we're moving on to State Pennant finals now. They're going to be held this weekend coming. Grades 1 through to 7. Heading all over the state. Trying to get a state winner. So all 16 regions. Well, no. Most of the 16 regions have got representatives in every grade. Grade 1. Going down to Edelong. Grade 2 going to Club Naira and Bomaderry. Grade 3 are on their way to Yamba. Grade 4 is on their way to Wagga Wagga. Man, we've got a team going down there. They've been talking about the weather. My goodness.
It's going to be cold down there.
Good luck to them. Grade 5's down in Sydney with Cabramatta and Mount Lewis. Grade 6 here in the Newcastle area with Charlestown and their little club, Club Lambton as well, hosting that. And then grade 7, they're off to North Haven and Lake Cathie. I still can't, it's Cathie, mate. Cathie. Growing up, TH together. How is that Cathie?
Lake Cathie.
It's Lake Cathie, mate. But I remember a photograph from up there. Actually, you went up there one time, didn't you? The Big Bull?
I did. Yeah, I went. Yeah,
I think it was you.
I did, yeah.
A bit more hair back then.
I did have a bit more hair. That was the first year I arrived in Australia. Got a photo next to the Big Bull. Yep, that was Simon Little on tour. First year I arrived in Australia, went up there with Turles and played. Actually played. I do remember who I played. I played Permy. He was in my group.
Oh, yep.
Yep, and I played Razor actually as well.
Yep.
I think I only won 1 or 2 games. I think out of the group, I think you played 3-4 games, something like that in your group. But yeah. Didn't manage to make it through. Just fresh off the plane. I was even wearing trousers back then. It was probably the last time. It was probably the last time I wore a pair of trousers. Was probably that playing in those singles. But
for our Australian listeners, that's pants.
fresh off the plane. Fresh off the plane.
Yeah, unreal. Well, as we said, mate, grade 1. We're heading into grade 1. I've been fortunate enough to be selected in that team again. We're hoping to go one better this year, obviously. Who else is going? Grandviews will be there again. Gunnedah, West Dubbo, Carmel from the Illawarra coming up. Windang also from the Illawarra coming up because a couple of regions couldn't fill the side. Narrandera, I think they were there last year too. Gwendolyn from the Central Coast. Charlestown must be heavy favourites. Charlestown going into Platinum next year. So they must be heavy favourites there. Merimbula, St. John's Park, Powerhouse Club, Battle Bay, Club Maitland City, and in Section 4, Monavale, Port City, Foster, and Beresfield, the second Newcastle side as well. So what's that? 3 regions aren't going to be represented at that. But I must say, having played in it last year with 11 sides, a lot happier there's going to be 16 sides in it this year. It's going to be a proper competition.
Yeah, well, that's what you want, isn't it?
It makes every game matter. Effectively, like we knew, I know it was tough last year. We went out in the pouring down rain. Our last game, I believe, was against Canada, and we pretty much knew we were in. So it was a bit of a head out. Bye as well. Now, we got blessed that the bye was the first round. I think we talked about it on the podcast last year. I'd rather have it that way. I would hate to be playing 3 games, sitting out and then having to get going again. At least we missed the first game, but our competition started at round 2 and we just kept going. So it was good to have that. But this time, mate, yep, everyone's going to head to their clubs. Well, we're sending our grade 4 because they're all the way to Wagga. We're sending them actually on Wednesday, a day early, but everyone gets together Thursdays for their team roll-ups, practice sessions at every club, and then Friday we'll start off with round 1, round 2. Saturday will be round 3, and then quarter-final for the top 2 in each section. Semi-final and final on the Sunday. Are you going to be paying much attention, man, or are you still sulking after Platinum?
No. I'll keep my eyes peeled on a few results and see how your grades go in the final.
Checking out how the competition's looking for next year when you're back in grade 1.
Grade 1, yeah. Well, I'll definitely keep an eye on results and we'll see how we go. What kind of level of preparation? What kind of detail? You must have been busy this last few weeks, in that old office there. You must get all those sides ready to go away. What kind of level of detail have you went through?
I tell you what, from the administrative side of things, it has been a lot of fun. Like, it's not been easy. 3 sides, how are you going to get in there? How many partners are going? Where are they staying?
Yeah.
What time do they need to get there? Where's their team lunch going to be? Where's the team dinner going to be? Is the team going to stay the way it is? So to have 3 of them going away and trying to organize all that, and different, like, we're covering every corner of the state. Like, we've got one going down the Victorian border, we've got one going up to the Queensland border, and then we're staying on the coast here at Edinburgh, but it's still an hour and a half for us to travel. So all the logistics of that, plus then you add in presentation night as well, and we had all that to do, which I just mentioned at the start of the show. That was the biggest one that we've had. And then, unfortunately, I'm not crying foul or anything, but I had a week sick, which I never usually go down for that long. So it's been an interesting time. So on green prep, I've just been getting in there as much as I can, just hoping that everything's feeling all right. And just as soon as then, because after we get the teams away on the buses, I'll settle down then and just worry about me. It's hard to worry about just me when you've got all that going. And that's one thing I've struggled with in the last couple of years with the role, because we are being a lot more successful. You are getting a lot busier. It's hard to worry about your own individual preparation. But just getting out there when I can. And then, like I said, I'm just keen to get down there as early as I can on Thursday, settle into the club, have a bit of lunch, wait for our roll-up time, and just get out there on the green and get familiar with Edinburgh again, because you don't get down there all the time.
Now, have you guys done any on-green, like as a group? Like, have you done any
calendar-wise has not allowed for it, man.
Okay.
Like even just last weekend, the weekend before, like I couldn't even get all our groups together because I had grade 3 had Jessica off trialing for the Open Women's Stateside, and Ush in the women's over 40s. Our top grade had Reese away trialing for the over 40s. Had Clay down there as a selector. So trying to get that many people together on those individual weekends, plus you had people away for the 2 weeks previous to that. You had a heap of people away at Aussie Open. Yeah, we had our own club championships we were trying to finish. We still had playoffs. We still had the wet weather. It was hard to get everyone together. So, but the big thing for me, and I think I said this last year too, the core of our group's been together for 6 or 7 years now. Mm-hmm. So you're just putting a lot of trust in everyone to be an adult. Everyone's played at this level for a long time now. We've got guys in there that have won this flag previously. We came runner-up at this flag last year with a couple of changes to this year. I actually think we potentially could be, on paper, a bit stronger. You just got to rely on everyone to know, well, you know what you need to do to get yourself in prime position and to the best of your ability to go out there and perform when we get down there. Yeah. So you're just relying on everyone to be able to do that, man. And I've got enough trust in the group that we can do that.
Yeah.
Where we could, we threw up a couple of sessions for some of the lower grades because some of them have never been away to this type of event before. And we're putting a lot of, not pressure on themselves, but we're putting a lot of emphasis on, well, state pennant, blah, blah, blah. So just getting them a bit familiar, getting them as familiar with just what they're doing as they can. Like my big thing administratively, like I said, is to be able to put everything in place for these people traveling away so that all they need to worry about is the balls on the green.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we've had preparation meetings and things like that there, so they know exactly what they're doing when they're doing it. I've had individual meetings in with the team managers, so the team managers know exactly what they're doing as well when they go away. Mm-hmm. Because that's the hardest part of it, because the easiest part is actually playing the game. Because the game is the same no matter where you play and how you play it. Trying to make them understand, this is why I'm sending you at this time, because you've never been to this club before. And a green is a green. It doesn't matter if it's a plastic, a carpet, or a grass. A green is a green. And it's the same for you as it is for the opposition. But your surroundings is what basically makes it tougher on you because you're not familiar with it. Like I even said, them just simple things, fellas, but you need to know where to go to the toilet. You need to know which bar is going to be open if you do want to go and get a drink, you know? People need to get more comfortable around that and then just let the bulls do the talking when they go on the green.
Well,
so that's where our preparation's been, just trying to make people that have never been to these events before understand this is what to expect. I've said this a bit before, but there's a very laid-back culture here in terms of rules and stuff in the Hunter Valley. Like, a 1 o'clock start in bowls means you need to be at the club by 12:30 at the latest because that's when the cards are called. But too many people will go, 1 o'clock start means I'm there for 1 o'clock. So making these guys understand that, you're going to be there at 7:30 because that's when breakfast is served. Breakfast is served at the club. You're going to be on the green at 8:30. It says a 9 o'clock start, but you're going to be on the green at 8:30. Okay? Yeah. These guys don't run to your time clock. You run to theirs.
Yeah.
So get that in your head before you get down there so you're not in for a shock when you get there. That's the big thing. Trying to just take away as much of that external pressure away as you can, but just making them realize, get on the green and just play.
It's interesting you say about, we're talking about that team and getting a team ready. I've actually been reading a really good book at the moment, a few chapters in, Legacy, and it's about the All Blacks and how they changed back from before they started to win the World Cups, and how they changed the whole mantra of team. And what you said there with regards to giving the players more responsibility and not pushing on to them, you have to do this or a game plan or whatever it may be. You said you want them to make the right decisions by everyone else. And that's what the All Blacks kind of moved to. That kind of the players had more responsibility and ownership of what was happening throughout the team. And I think that's really good that you've actually said that. And that's what clubs should be doing, is giving certain players a lot of responsibility, or peer-to-peer kind of responsibility, that you're going to do the right thing by your teammates. And when you're away for 3, 4, 5 days, that you're not going to end up at the bar at 2 o'clock in the morning when you got to play bowls at 7:30 or 8 o'clock the next morning. That's and that's on you, not to let your teammates down.
May have read a bit of that book myself. I've actually got that penciled in to read when I'm on holidays in a couple of weeks. It's a very, very good one. It was
very good book for people out there if you want to listen to.
Yeah, I think it was. Are you reading it or are you doing an audiobook?
Nah, I'm reading it.
Yeah, I had it on the Kindle, so I did there. But I struggle to sit down and read if I'm honest. But yeah, it's one that I want to read when I'm up on the Gold Coast in a couple of weeks' time, just on holiday with family. Yeah, you're right, mate. And I know a lot of clubs, especially at the higher level. Pardon me, I know there's certain legislations coming in around alcohol around the green and stuff. I mean, I've grown up as a non-drinker. I don't drink. Okay, so I know what the effects of alcohol and all that can do to you, but I also understand that you look through history of some sports, and especially our sports, some people need 1 or 2 to get themselves ready to go. So I've always told everyone in Maitland City, you won't see a drinking ban or a drinking limit put on you from me. I'm not going to turn around and say you can't drink while you're playing. I'm not going to turn around and say you only have this or that. Okay? You leave the responsibility to the person to go, you know where your limit is, don't hit it. As you said, you're down there. You're down there for the team. Don't let the team down. Mm-hmm. Because if you let the team down, you won't be playing for the team again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the way. That's the culture that I'm trying to build there too. Like as you said, put the responsibility on them. They know what they can and can't do. Mm-hmm. Don't go too far. Which again is part of the reason that we try to time presentation night that time of year too, because you get everyone together. They can have a blowout there. Because a week later or the 2 weeks later, whatever way we've scheduled it up, that's when business is on. Like everyone was pretty motivated last year, but speaking to some of the guys that are actually pretty laid back, as I've known them, there's a lot more motivation this year because of how close we got last year.
Hopefully, we felt
like we missed a chance last year. Like we missed the jump. Like we had horrible conditions, and Cabramatta started better than what we did. You know what I mean? They got out to a 25-shot lead and ended up only getting us by 6 or 7. So there's a few guys there that are a bit hungrier this year and have been preparing a bit better than what they did this time last year. So I'm really looking forward to getting down there and seeing what we can do. I think a few of the other sides that were there last year have got stronger. Hopefully the conditions are a bit better and makes it better for some better bowls. We're in the different format, the better format now too, where you've got 3 round games, then it's straight into knockouts. So looking forward to this one, mate.
Yep. So listeners, let's keep your eyes peeled for live streaming that might be happening for the Grade 1, and keep your eyes peeled to see if DJ might be on the live stream.
It's not guaranteed as of yet because I know we didn't make it for any of the round games. I don't know what way it's lining up for the knockouts, but yeah, with any luck, I won't be on the blinking camera.
Well, best of luck to all of you guys heading down that way.
Good luck there. Good luck and safe travels. Everyone going around the state, like we said, we're covering absolutely everywhere. When you look at all 7 grades, it's one of the beauties of our sport. Like not too many grades get to go and play. There's not too many other sports, and the lower grades get to go and play for state titles. And it's one thing that Bowls South Wales does pretty well. It takes up a lot of time and a lot of effort to get there, especially for some of the smaller clubs. So all credit to them. And this is what we all go to fight for at the end of the day. It's nice to win your regional flag, but job's not done. I think that's a pretty good spot to finish for this week, Simon. So next one's a big one for us. We're going to raise the bat next week next episode. We're going to raise the bat for episode 50.
Big one.
You're going to put something out there on social media, aren't you? And what have you got lined up for the followers on Facebook?
Well, I think if you jump onto Facebook, we're going to put a post up and we're going to ask the listeners who they think should be our special guest for our 50th episode. We want a pretty special guest to come on for the 50th half century. And we'll be interested to know. Get on there on our Facebook page on the Bowls Academy. Tag a bowler you think should be on our episode, and we'll hit them up. We'll try and get in contact with them, and we'll see if we can land a real special guest to entertain us for our 50th episode.
If you had to drop a tag now, Simon, who would you drop it on?
That's a good question, DJ. We'll have a bit of a moment to think about that. I'll put it back to you. Who would you tag in it?
It's a good one, isn't it? Well, there's the obvious, the big names. You'd love some of the big names to come on, but maybe Jack McShane, just to see what his mindset was playing against you. And how he managed to knock you out of the Chamber of Champions. Maybe one of the characters of our sport, Mr. Chris Cusack from Warilla. What about someone like Warilla? Chris Cusack, big galoot. He'd have a bit to say. You'd have your work cut out for you on the production there, but we'll have to bleep things out, I reckon. Yeah, that's what we got. Yeah, I reckon, who I'd like to sit and have a chat to? I think it'd be really interesting. World champion. I think Carl Healy would be a good one to talk to.
Yeah. He's won a bit over this last few years. He'd definitely have a good insight into.
And he's not one of those top level. He's not one of those out there high five fist pumping type of guys. He's a bit old school. He got the handshakes. Yeah. He thinks a lot about the game. I reckon maybe tag Carl Healy in there and get him in to have a chat.
Maybe we'll tag a few people, see what kind of response we get.
All right, so back to you, mate. You've had a bit of time to think. Who have you got? Who are you going for? I'll give you one tag. You can talk to anyone on the podcast. I'll even let you interview them yourself. I'll stay out of this one. Not that we get many listeners, but I'll stay out of this one. Who would you want to interview if you can interview anyone?
I'll go with Aaron Wilson. 3 Commonwealth Games gold medals coming up, maybe. Yeah, I think it'd be interesting to speak to.
I hope that's not a maybe. I said this a couple of episodes ago. He has to be locked in. You can't take that away from the fella. But yeah, that'd be a good one. So wouldn't he be? He'd be an interesting character. Yeah, well, folks, get on to that. Keep an eye out of that on our Facebook page, the Bulls Academy Facebook page. Like, share, follow. Tag someone that you would like to hear on the What a Load of Bulls podcast. And if we get enough interest and Simon's got a big enough budget, we might just make that happen. What do you reckon, Simon?
I think so.
Good on you, mate. Well, that'll do for this week. Hopefully I'll be coming back with a Pennant flag to talk to you about in a couple of weeks' time or whenever we sit down again. So, as always, folks, keep that little disc on the inside.
And good luck on those greens. The views, information, or opinions expressed during What a Load of Bulls podcast episodes are solely those of the individuals involved and do not represent those of any group, organization, or employer associated or affiliated to individuals. This podcast is for general information purposes only, to educate and inform. This podcast does not constitute professional advice or services. What a Load of Bulls does not guarantee the accuracy or reliability of any opinions expressed or statements made within episodes.